Well guys, I think we're ready to go for an MOT. We're all mirrors are on, I've checked all the lights, doors are on, checked over, plates are on. So take her in a minute, see if she'll pass. And there's only one job I know I've got to do left. Let's put the stickers on this side, and I'll do that later on today. But for the minute, she's ready to go. But I will give her a good clean because she's covered in glue, doing the stickers, polishing all sorts. But ticket first, test drive, then clean. There's no point if we have trouble cleaning it up too much because it'll only get dirty again sitting around waiting for whatever we've got to fix. If we've got to fix anything. Wish me luck. Hi guys, so a quick update. I'll put it in the garage in a second, but she's been for MOT today and passed, which is great news. And I've been out on a test drive. We've done 14 odd miles. She runs really good, no major problems. Third's a little bit of a tricky gear, you have to be a bit forceful with it, so at some point we'll have to take that out. But for the moment, she's running good. And no problems with oil pressure or cooling, it's all very much normal. Power wise, I wouldn't say it feels massively powerful, so I think it's going to be quite an improvement when it gets on the rollers. But I was going to go and put it in this hole, but it's too much muck and it's too late, so I could start tomorrow. I'm going to tidy all this up. So I've still got to wash it, detail it and polish it and do all the car things to finalise it, but mechanically at least we are where we need to be. This is good news. Good news indeed. And luckily, or not, it went for the MOT, passed, and then within about 2 minutes after the MOT the indicator stopped working. Fiddled with some wire under the dash and it came on, but at least a lot of the time you take you to the MOT and then suddenly something stops working while you're there, but not so. Anyway, I'll do another video in a second. Hi guys, thought I'd just do a little update. Still haven't put the side stripe on. I'll get around to that at some point. We've got a roof, got a half roof now, which is great. So I've been out on what, 3 journeys now, spread out over a week or so, and overfueling. It's been rich since it's been running, and I made an assumption that it was just a protective amount of rich because Emerald have sent me a map, and just need to, didn't want it to be running too lean, so that's why it's just assumed that it would be overly rich because of that. Now the more I've been driving it, the more she's been getting 6,500, 7, getting up top end, full throttle, stuttering, misfiring, just struggling. Sounded like she's drowning, so I was like, right, well, still want to check the timing. Let's get the timing checked up. So of course the original on the car, verdict police, didn't have any marks on them. They've not been transferred, the timing marks that are here, here, these lines to line up across a pair of the cams. They weren't remarked onto these, so of course I didn't know whether in the impact when this would come back into this casing here and it was cracked, whether that had slowed the timing wheels enough to jump a tooth. Obviously it hadn't gone, if it had jumped, if it was out, it wouldn't have been out more than 1 or 2 teeth because valves would have hit the pistons. So so we had the richness and this sort of messy kind of lumpy feel, but also occasionally I was getting what sounded like pops, ignitions in the intake every now and then. So that gave me a bit of concerned that the timing was not right. Anyway, so the only way, there's two ways of checking the timing on these with vernier calipers, which is one, the way I've done it, well, at least checking that that's correct, not is you have to take the cover off, use dial gauges with fingers onto the valve heads and check that it's correct that way. Now I don't have that equipment. They don't look like they've moved as it stands, so I think that these were set up by Dave Andrews initially, so they should be spot on positioning wise. So I thought, well, I'll get the original wheels, put them on, check the timing, make sure this is all timed up correctly, then I can pop these off, align the keyways with those, mark out the cam positions, put them back on, and it should all be good. But nevertheless, we're still looking at over fueling. So I was thinking about adjusting the map, but then I was thinking about these injectors. Now, whilst they will be fine once it's mapped, these are actually injectors with 190 odd cubic, 190cc injectors, I believe, and the original ones are 172s. So I'm thinking that these injectors are putting in too much fuel, which is why I'm so rich for the map that I've been given. So the plan is today I'm going to put my cams back on, recheck the timing, make sure that's all good, take the injector, give it a quick run, a little listen. Still going to be rich, might idle a bit better, we'll see. And then I'm going to take the injectors out and put the original injectors in, which are in my manifold here. Yeah, put the original injectors back in and then give that a run. If that still doesn't make any difference at all, I've got a couple of other maps that I'm going to try. So I just want to get to the point where it can do a little bit more getting out and about without worrying about, you know, fouling up the plugs and all that jazz. But yeah, so that's the plan. Other than that, she drives really good, she's going all right. But yeah, the actual, just the mapping is really the bugbear at the moment for enjoyment. You know, if you get used to the sound of an engine when it's really crisp, it doesn't sound like it's crisp yet, because occasionally there's a few little times where you can hear it sort of starting to sing properly like it should, but it just sounds a bit muted, I think, you know, well, probably because it's so rich, it's on the cusp of that side of running. So hey ho, it's all good. Speak to you in a bit. Right, so vernier pulleys back on. This time we've marked them for their positions across the cams. I don't know if you can see, there's a mark. I made a mark on the original cams at the top here to this brass lug downwards, and the same here. It's just to make sure that obviously we know where the keyway is going to be, but just to prove everything's as it should be, everything should line up, which it does, so that's good. I'm going to turn the engine over a few times manually just to prove that there's no interference, then I'll give her a run. So timing's good, and I didn't do a before video because I didn't think it'd make that much difference. The engine isn't clattering. There was a little bit of a knock somewhere, and it's gone. So I think timing is good. And she sounds good too. Oh yes. Oh yes, that's much better. It was definitely out, no doubt about it. Oh, I'm looking forward to driving it now. Woohoo! Oh no, I've just remembered. Done the video in the wrong angle. Apologies. Woohoo!